We all love him. One of the best YouTubers on all of YouTube. Valor Sports Media. Valor Sports Media.
Talk about this game for a second, John. Alabama goes to Knoxville on October 19th. I almost wanted to take a trip out there, but I'm going to 2 home games this year instead. But I'm sure it's going to be a good crowd. We lost last time we went to Neyland.
Yeah.
2.5-point spread for Alabama. What do you make about the opponent in Tennessee? And is that spread reasonable? Do you think are we undervaluing the Tide at this point in the season? What do you think, John?
I think we got to see how Kane Womack's 4.25 looks because Nico is extremely dangerous at that quarterback position. They have experience at running back. They bring back an experienced offensive line. Their offense is going to be humming, just like Alabama's will be. I think the big difference of what it's going to come down to is, and I think it's the biggest question mark this whole offseason since Kane Womack has been brought in, is going to be what exactly this 4.25 looks nothing like we've ever seen at Alabama since Nick Saban, right? So I think that's going to be a big part of it. You're going to see a lot more free floating, defensive backs. The Husky position with Devontae Smith running him or was it Red Morgan? So yeah, that's going to be a tough one, man. That's one of those that game. I'm really glad the SEC is considering implementing this whole injury rule because the one thing that Josh Heupel does not do is that he does not release injury information prior to games. And now the SEC is thinking about mandating that these injuries be released the week of. So, and that's another thing that has screwed us, people like me in the past, is like when Tennessee or even Alabama doesn't release the injuries until they literally kick off because that's when they're required to release it. Unless the SEC does what the Big Ten does, which means as of Monday and the kickoff is Saturday, but it's Monday, you're releasing that injury information.
Yeah. So Will Saban, he's sort of he's kept it under the cover himself, for several years too, So
absolutely. And that's one thing I love Saban to death. But man, when it comes to placing my bets, I'm cussing the dude almost every week because I don't know who's healthy and who's not. So,
they're all. I don't know. They all do it, Jonathan. They've all.
They have.
I'm not telling but I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. You really think it's a bad thing, sure enough?
Me, I think it's a good thing that they have to release information from a gambling standpoint because this game is revolving around so much money. I think that you almost I get it. If there was no gambling, I wouldn't care. Right. So, but I think because people's money's at stake, you know what I mean? I think you almost have to consider that. That's the only reason behind it.
Yeah.
I would agree with that because, it's some people say next man up. Okay, well, that's the case for every college team. They should have that mentality. But the reality is, it's not that way at every single school, and losing one key player, let's say if all you got is one big-time receiver or something, or your quarterback, or you lose that guy, and these people just place money on a team to win, placed a butt ton of money, and they lose the one thing that was going to win them the game, there's going to be a lot of people that get really ticked off because they just blew their money.
Yeah, but at Alabama, I know you just kind of touched on this a little bit, but Alabama has to be that next man up mentality. I mean, the way that they recruit every single year, even right now, Alabama aren't they still in the top 5? I mean, in recruiting. So this guy has been a winner everywhere he's been, all the way from the ground, all the way till to the big times. I think Kalen DeBoer is going to be very, very successful at Alabama. I don't really expect him to be like SEC champions going into playoffs first year, but I could see within the next 3 years him doing that. And also, a team like Kentucky, if they lose their quarterback, yeah, they're going to lose games. It's almost a foregone conclusion that they're losing games. You seen that whenever what's his name, Will Levis, couple years ago, whenever he got injured, they ended up losing like 3 straight games in a row. They were on pace to win 8 or 9.